Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. Today is our commemorating our Film Fridays. And our theme today is birthing of Mujeres de Maiz. And we have a special Q&A and some short films to share with you all today on Mujeres de Maiz. We're really excited that y'all are here with us today. Yeah, and we're just going to go ahead and get started if folks are ready.
We're ready.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much. So just kind of a breakdown of today. I'm gonna give you all just a brief background on some bios of the women of Lak Ech, and then we're gonna show you all a short doc, which is about 15 minutes long, and then we're gonna move on to Q&A. And in between Q&A, we're also gonna show you all some awesome clips on Lak Ech, and we hope you all enjoy it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So I'm going to be introducing folks from Lak Ech by just order of, no particular order, just for funsies. Okay, so I'm going to start with Claudia Mercado. So Claudia Mercado is a multimedia artist, documentary filmmaker, and cultural activist born and raised in the community of Highland Park, Los Angeles, California. She's a member of the poetry performance group Lak Ech and co-founder of Mujeres de Maiz. And as a director, producer, writer, and editor, Claudia has exhibited her films throughout the U.S., in art houses, universities, museums, and film festivals. Join me by welcoming Claudia Mercado. I'm going to go ahead and just read the rest of the bios, and then we can hear a little bit about you all. So welcome, Claudia. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
So up next is Marisol Torres. Marisol Torres is a performer, visual artist, and writer. She holds a BA in Latin American Studies and an MFA from the School of Film and Television at Cal State LA. From 1996 to 2008, she was a partner, writer, and performer in the nationally acclaimed and toured theater comedy troupe Chusma. And Marisol is a co-founder of the Chicana poetry and song group Lak Ech, who since its inception in 1997 has performed throughout the Southwest, Tijuana, Mexico City, Colombia, and Chiapas. She's also, along with Joe Mishpele, started the theater troupe Las Ramonas. So thank you so much, Marisol, for being here today. Up next is Cristina Gorosica. She's a mother, first-generation Mexican-American, Chicana Mayan, born in Los Angeles. She's a member of Lak Ech and Mujeres de Maiz from its inception, and she's a writer, songwriter, danzante, conchera of Mixcoac Catedral of Los Angeles. She's a teacher, administrator in public education, and has a master's in educational leadership, and a Yang-style Tai Chi practitioner, and she also practices hot yoga and running. So thank you so much, Cristina, for being here today. Up next is Felicia Montes. She's a Chicana Indígena artist, activist, and organizer, educator, designer, performer, professor, holistic wellness practitioner from East Los Angeles. Her research, creative work, and practice focus on art, social justice, spirituality, women of color feminism, indigenous cultures, and community wellness. She has published on these topics in various anthologies. Montes is the founder and cultural activist, of the cultural activist project Lak Ech, La Botánica del Barrio, El Mercado y Más, and director of Mujeres de Maiz. Next up is Marlene Beltran. So Marlene Beltran is an an actor, director, singer, songwriter, and teaching artist. She's an alumnus of Cal Arts. And her most recent theatrical production was in August of 2020, where she performed in the virtual live stream play A Farm for Me by Virginia Grice and directed by Elena Arauz. She can also be seen in Adelisa Rebozo Boy Productions, independent short films like La Serenata, directed by Adelina Anthony, which won Best Short Film in Imagine Awards in 2019, and she's currently screening on all HBO platforms. And up next is Claudia Mercado. Claudia Mercado is a wait. Did I already read yours, Claudia? Sorry, I got it twice. Sorry. Lastly, I want to introduce Techli Gallegos. Leslie is the daughter of Cristina Gorosica. She's an artist, photographer, danzante, and the youngest member of Lak Ech. She's also the co-founder of Desde Calizas and Chillonas on Skates. Thank you so much for being here, Leslie. So I'm gonna go ahead and just pass the baton to our next part of the programming, which is the film movement, if we're ready for that.
Hi, so yes, welcome everybody. Thank you so much, Nadia. That was a lot to have to read through. Definitely drink some water, take a breath. And so, yes, thank you all for who are here with us tonight on this Friday. You're going to get to watch a short documentary on during the first year of Mujeres de Maiz, which we in Lak Ech birthed. And so this short video kind of gives you the tone and the feel of the atmosphere through which in Lak Ech came together. And you'll get to hear more from the fellow sisters that are here about how all of this happened. So this just give you a little taste of Mujeres de Maiz and how it was birthed and came about. And here we go. In the meantime, Felicia, do you mind sharing a little bit about, while I get this video going, about this year's focus in terms of what the programming goes?
Sure. Sure. Hi, everyone. So I'm Fe with Mujeres de Maiz, and this year we're celebrating 24 years of being a part of Mujeres de Maiz since inception in 1997. What we're doing is Claudia is going to be sharing a little bit about documentary footage over the last 24 years, everything from in Lak Ech performances to dances, exhibitions, ceremonies, really everything that you can think of, our zines. And so what we're doing is finally, after 24 years, putting this together so that hopefully for our 25th year, we can celebrate with the documentary, full-length, feature-length documentary created by Claudia Mercado and a team and supported by you. So we do have a GoFundMe that will be at the bottom of the site right here. And you can go to the GoFundMe, you can go to our website, our Twitch, our Facebook, any of our social media accounts, including our website, and find ways to donate so that we can create this documentary. We have a full season of events coming up every 4 days a week for the whole month of March. We have different programming, and we're really excited to bring that to you. Everything from self-care Sundays, writing Wednesdays, Film Fridays, which is tonight, seeing some of the film and documentation of Lak Ech, as well as Music Mondays, and I believe, and Self-Care Sanacion Sundays coming up this Sunday also, which is our first one. So take a look and remember that todos somos Mujeres de Maiz, creating community, creating change. So a little bit more also, just so that you know, again, we'll put this at the bottom, that the little ticket that will tell you a little bit about you. In the chat, let us know where you're coming from, which indigenous nation you're on, or the territory that you are on, as well as maybe where you're from, or the city and community. It's really great to see on these lives where people are coming from across the country or even across the world. Many of us, because of the World Wide Web, are figuring out how to connect in these different ways. So Mujeres de Maiz has had submissions of art all the way from Saudi Arabia to the Philippines, Europe, and of course the Americas, North, South, and Central America. So beautiful to see you all, and please do make sure to share and let us know your city or indigenous nation. Oh my goodness. How's it going, Clau?
So I had to switch drives. Can you hear me? Sorry, yes. I'm switching drives. I have two identical drives, and I got the wrong one. I'm so sorry.
Okay, cool.
But it's coming. It's coming.
So how about Nadia, if you could share a little bit more about the intro, maybe some of the question, and I could share a little bit.
Yeah, so just really quickly, so we're really excited to have this talk, this plática, and also this short screening, just to get to know Lak Ech too, right? I think in my years participating with Mujeres de Maiz, I've noticed, I've heard conversations and how it's initiated, right, and how it started. And a lot of it was birthed because of, in Lak Ech. So I wanted to know, Fe, if you could describe a little bit to us the early years of Lak Ech, just maybe to give us some context, and so we know what we're watching when we watch the short clip.
Sure. So, we all have a little bit of our version of somewhat of the story. As I was looking at we have some videos of women who were involved but aren't able to be here live, but we have their documentation videos. And so all of us kind of see it a little bit differently, but all the same, right? So in 1997, some of the women were asked to perform. It kind of came together just asking, hey, you write poetry, you share poetry, and they were decided to share only one time event. And ever since then, people had asked for us to perform again. And it wasn't necessarily because we're the most amazing poets. And when we first started, we weren't singing yet or drumming, but it was a lot about representation and seeing women of color and queer women of color and communities of color, femme energy up on stage, sharing their truths, sharing their experiences, sharing their beautiful and truthful and also painful experiences. So it's been really amazing to see that. And we were mainly in our college years learning, most of us, also connecting with ceremony and indigenous traditions, but also learning from books, academic books and history, herstory, and the predecessors within feminist of color writers, but then also through elders and ceremonia elders, whether in danza or other types of connections. So it's been really beautiful. How we started, and we always say I think it's just like, it's not, we never decided officially to get together, and I don't think we'll ever decide to break up or not have a group. We know a lot of different women's groups who were like for a certain time period, and I can never fathom like the end of Mujeres de Maiz or in Lak Ech.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Actually, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, actually, I just wanted to ask, in your bio, it says that your mom was one of the original founders of Lak Ech. How's it been for you? You pretty much grew up with this group, right?
Yeah.
How was it like for you?
Yeah, I've always really enjoyed it because it meant I got to go to different performances and see different people of all over share spoken words, share paintings, share different forms of expression. And it's just something that has continuously motivated me and inspired me to become the artist that I am today, and to continue to grow and create my own type of expression. So I've always loved it. It was never a boring time. I never hated going out and having to go to shows. Like that was something I always looked forward to.
Oh, do you have a memorable like show or moment that like stayed with you?
It not one specifically. It's more like a lot.
Yeah.
I just really liked sitting on stage and singing with everybody and drumming with everyone. And they kind of made me want to become a performer at first. And now I'm not a performer, but in the moment and when I was a young child, always being on stage, it really inspired me a lot.
Thank you for sharing. That's beautiful. Thank you, Tesli. So I think we're ready to watch the clip. Claudia, we're ready whenever you are.
I'm going to share my screen. And can you guys see my screen yet? Let's share. There we go. All right, so here we go.
Also, I think last time somebody just mentioned to gotta pick the other tab and then move your cursor, because people were mentioning that, or move it to full screen. So I'll do my best to do that for you if you don't. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, this is full screen. Here we go. Do you guys see my screen? Let me know.
Yes.
Thank you for the silence. I'd like you to close your eyes a little bit, and take a breath. And remember why we're all here tonight.
This story begins at the end of the fifth sun, when our diosas, our goddesses, gave breath to their initiations. And the raw corazones of women began to rattle.
Thanks for coming out. My name is Rachel. I'll be your cosmic hostess for tonight. We're at Mujeres de Maiz in You guys make yourself comfortable. I know, like.
When I returned to what was once my home in Highland Park, California, 1996, I didn't fit inside. We'll just start heading back towards the. Hold on for a second. I was like the 50-foot woman from the 1950s horror film. A threat for holding a piece of gold. Mi voz.
Son las mestizas sin fronteras, la chicana con fronteras, la india violada, la activista temida, la visionaria rebelde, la feminista ardiente, la mujer que tiene voz.
Scaring my mother with my wild tongue, assaulting the aesthetics of beauty for not shaving or wearing a bra, squashing my family's American dream with my fist up in the air.
We are women! We will resist! We will defeat the imperialists!
The early 90s marked a time of violence and discrimination in California. The Rodney King beatings, the LA riots, the first Iraq war, and Republican Governor Pete Wilson's anti-immigrant laws weighed heavy in people's spirits.
Our communities are being ripped apart from the inside out and the outside in. We came together to see how we can remedy these social ills. We have no answers, we have many answers, but the most important conclusion was to become our whole selves through expression, our expression of what life is to us and what we are in life.
Sparking light in the darkness, men, women, and children came down the mountains. Their blood came down like rain.
On the same day NAFTA went into effect on January 1st, 1994, they joined the Zapatista National Liberation Army, or EZLN, in declaring war on the Mexican government, saying that NAFTA meant death to indigenous peoples.
This ivy, man, this ivy was always our awesome cover.
Yes, a raw, free spirit of 25. I, seeker, visionary, and creatrix, cross paths with the underground. A Zapatista artist womb known as Regeneracion, regeneration. Unearthing it with my tongue, I became one of its descendants.
Well, Centro Regeneracion, or the way that I was first introduced to it, was as
a center or a space where people were doing art, making music?
Everybody was kind of working in isolation, so to speak, you know, kind of like floating around the city. And then when Zach made it financially possible for this space to be available, we kind of came to it like Mecca. We were like started.
You know, I grew up in Sierra Madre. I was going to Pasadena City College. I happened to meet Raul at some coffee shop in Old Town before it was Old Town Pasadena.
And I came from Maywood and UC Santa Barbara. Quesal came from Northeast LA and Southeast LA. You know, all of us came together because the space, I think, was really ready.
As Chicanas, as women of color, we felt a great need to come together to share our experiences, to dialogue, so that we could come to a better understanding of who we are individually and collectively.
I was born of the corn, the Barrio Borderland projects, about snot.
Why has my heart been in pasty patriarchal hands on lockdown with a key lost in our Mother Nature's underworld?
When they beat our brothers.
I had to leave her with my parents, but venir a trabajar al norte. I don't want her to know hunger.
I'm participating today because, I guess for several reasons, mostly because I think it's really important for women to create a safe space to do or to present creative work, something that really doesn't happen in LA. First of all, Regeneracion was named after an anarchist magazine that was in Mexico.
It was Flores Magon's
the brothers started this magazine called Regeneracion, and it was inspired by this kind of anarchist publication.
And I find it interesting because, you know, the newspaper Regeneracion for Mexico's Civil War, it was sort of like a precursor to the Civil War in Mexico. It was sort of like agitating the people, getting them together, organizing, because they were reporting about everything that was happening, all the injustices, all the people organizing.
I have here $5 a pop, or shall I say $5 a prayer. Referring to, regardless of all the different years of resistance that we've gone through as women and all the things that we're trying to gain as far as equality, regardless of all that, you know, to some guy around the corner, we still are $5 a pop.
It happened right there by that 24-hour house of pancakes that has enchilada specials, menudo on weekends, and light mariachis on Sunday mornings.
I recall my people, aesthetic, indigenous, prosperous, until mass rape genocide, their children fed lies, land of the free.
Because you have this repetition of history, you have the Zapatistas that have revealed themselves, you know, in 1994. And then you have, we were talking about being children of immigrants, having this connection to Mexico, and then feeling like, yeah, we have to go out there. You know, and then we had, you know, Rodney King, and we had 187. We're having all these social, I say injustices occurring, and it's almost like, yeah, this is our calling card. This is, you know, our turn to say what it is we feel.
Forgive me, Lord, for being alive and awake, burning passionately, yearning for the touch.
Long black hair, painfully woven into complicated knots.
But no, it's not all about just being a woman. Because tonight, I'm gonna let the night's wilderness prick at my skin.
Oh, honey, and ugliness can be a princess because I said,
There was a lot that happened, right? And Radio Clandestina was also another group that came out of that, this underground radio station that we had.
You are listening to Lucha por tu voz. Fight for your voice.
dedicated to all the women in the community, here on Radio Clandestina in Highland Park, Los Angeles. And there I was. I had this desire to share all the women of color feminist voices that had inspired me, beginning with my ancestors, grandmothers, revolutionaries, writers, artists, and activists.
You know, the big Frente came together, this really important group of youth who went and did a cultural exchange with the Zapatistas.
Which is going to be an encuentro taking place in Oventic, Chiapas, Mexico, from August the 5th through the 10th. And it's going to be an encuentro cultural. We're going to share and experience the culture and the similarities and differences between the Zapatistas and the Chicanos here in LA.
This is the thing about Regeneracion. You didn't have to claim, you know, we are Regeneracion somewhere else. You could be Radio Clandestina somewhere else. You could be Mujeres de Maiz somewhere else. You could be Yesca and Ozomatli and Quetzal and Smoke and Mirrors Productions, and you know, it goes on and on and on of all the groups that kind of came through, used the space for the time that they needed it, and then blossomed, you know.
Her story is like this. In the beginning, there was Eva. Yo, la primera.
I met Felicia Montes through a friend who kept saying, you guys need to meet each other. And when she brought us together, it felt like a meeting of the visions. She was also writing poetry and wanted to unite and empower women. So I invited her to co-host the radio show with me, but we quickly realized that what we truly desired was to fill the stage, the walls, screens, and pages with more women voices, beginning with our own stories. And so we started by asking these women right here to perform their poetry with us.
And we were all cracked up into the little radio station there at the PRC. And Claudia again reiterated her idea of putting together this performance. At one point, someone said, let's bring out our writings, our poetry. And so I just remember sitting there in a circle of young women and sharing our writings. But in that place, in that space, that night, somehow I was able to share some very personal writing. And everyone shared, and everyone's voice was so different, and their experiences were different, but yet we found so many commonalities, which just was a very empowering thing to experience. It was refreshing, and I felt like I experienced something just brand new that I had no clue it could exist.
What came out of Regeneracion was a really a consciousness that you could be an artist and make a political statement and be an organizer if you wanted to.
But also integrating the healing part and the personal.
Bold corazones with visions of healings. Our paths were sealed, and like lightning, we became in Lak Ech, a Mayan concept that translates to, you are my other me.
Revolution, win, era libre.
And so that's a testimonial. My piece, The Connection, is a testimony of of a lot of the issues that I encountered, and it's basically, the way I see it, is uncovering of the self, like unlayering the self, like throughout when we're little kids.
It was in this dynamic, political, artistic space where I would come out as a performance artist, filmmaker, activist, and founder of In Lak Ech. that sprouted a movement of women of color artivists.
I'd like to let you know I am with you, heart and soul. I'd like to let you know I am with you, heart and soul.
Okay, so here we go.
So beautiful, Claudia. Thank you so much for sharing your work thus far. And I'm really excited for the documentary. I don't know if other folks are, but please, if you can, donate to our fund or GoFundMe to manifest or womanifest this beautiful project that Claudia's bringing forward. Thank you so much again. I wanted to also share that, ask that question for you, Claudia, about your early years at Lak Ech. If you can share that with folks, también, please.
Sure. So actually, I was the first one in my family to leave LA to go get an education, to continue my education. And so I had been away from LA for about 6 years. I left LA and I went to Berkeley. And so 6 years later, I came back and I wanted to find my community. Like I said in the video, I didn't feel like I belonged where I came from. Like I became like a stranger in my own home, in my own community. And I didn't have a community because I had been away, and I was searching for the Chicano artists. I was searching for women of color feministas, and I happened to land somehow, some way, the sacred wind pushed me into this space called Regeneracion. And I was searching for community, and I found community, and I found sisterhood, and I found my voice. And anyway, I'm getting emotional now because I went back there. But so, the power of sisterhood, the power of, finding your community really allows, a person to grow and a person to experiment with, with what they believe in life. And so, so for me, to be able to find this community and to dream together, we kind of dreamed together, and we created this thing called Mujeres de Maiz that we didn't plan to. We didn't get together for that. We just came together organically. I think we came together because secretly we needed to say something. Secretly, our spirits needed to say something to the world or to whoever wanted to listen. And we had each other to be able to help us do that. And that just had this ripple effect. And it's been a beautiful journey. And just like all journeys, it has its highs and lows and its challenges. And so I am very grateful that today I still have this community, despite all the challenges, despite the fact that, we were grassroots for 20 years. We survived for 20 years. And so anyway, I think as women, we were looking for community, we were looking for sisterhood, and we were blessed with the space to begin that journey. And then we continue to offer that space for other women who also needed that space, that community, that support, that place where you can be what your spirit needs to be and what needs to be released or what needs to be offered to the world. So some of us get there broken. Some of us are there barely hanging on. And the sisterhood helps us to continue to move forward. Some of us get there ready to lead the army, you know, and some of us get there searching, curious. And so we get there in all these different forms. And so that's a little bit of, you know, back in 1997 when I was in my early mid-20s, 24 years ago.
So beautiful. Thank you so much, Claudia. Yeah, it's so powerful to see the documentary and then to hear your reflections. I wanted to ask if we could share Marisol, if you can share Marisol to how, you know, the early years of Lak Ech was for you. Oh, you're muted, Faye. Sorry, I can't hear you.
I was just mentioning that we have a few of our sisters kind of sinking in through their videos, and so I'm going to share that right now, and a little bit of the information that is shared by our compañera Marisol.
Hello, my name is Marisol Torres. I am one of the founding members of Lak Ech, 1997, quite some time ago. I guess the question is, how would I describe Lak Ech in our early years? I would say we were raw. I think that's probably one of the best descriptive words that I can think of as far as Lak Ech is concerned in those first years that we were working together and just growing together on the stage. The word would be raw. Just life-changing for me personally. Our performances were made up of our own words, our poetry, our journals. We put them together. We would sit in a circle and just share out loud with one another. And we would begin the collaboration within that circle. Okay, you have a poem. What is your what are those words that you're speaking? How can I contribute and amplify your words? And so that was our part of our early goal as far as performing and putting together, finding ways to put together our performances and weave them together. We wanted to amplify each other's voices, our experiences that we had lived and were true to our lives. And so that's what you would see if you look at those early any footage from back in those years. We were healing together. We were growing together on that stage. We were maturing on that stage together. We were looking for ways, seeking of ways to lift each other's voices up. And so that's how you see that process of those reading from the journal, memorizing, and collaborating and improvising. Many times we were improvising on that stage together. And so it was just this wonderful organic experience that we were able to take from our notebooks into this circle of women and then bring that to a stage and share it with anyone who was willing to listen. And it was just a wonderful experience because people would talk to us after and let us know, you know what, I really relate to what you said about that situation that you shared in your poem or in those words that you shared with all of us. And so I think we made each other more brave. I mean, at least I could, speaking for myself, being on that stage with the women of Lak Ech helped me feel more brave. They helped amplify my voice. So I think that's how I would describe our early years, is learning how to amplify each other's voices.
quick, Nadia. In response, we just heard from Marisol, and if you notice, she's also a visual artist, and her painting was behind her. So you know, everybody in Lak Ech just has so many beautiful skills and talents, and so I just wanted to highlight her work as well. That, you know, and the one of the black and white sketch that comes out in the video of the young woman on the mic, that's one of Marisol's drawings as well. So.
Beautiful. Claudia, are we ready to share another video, or should we ask a couple more questions?
Sure. I'm going to show a video of Mujeres de Maiz, of a live art show of Mujeres de Maiz. It's actually the I'm actually showing in Lak Ech, doing their thing. Here we go. Open it up, and this is some footage of in Lak Ech. They're singing we're singing the Koioshouki Song, which actually, as the drive loads back up, because it stopped because we were talking, maybe we would, here we go. So this song is a song that was created by one of our sisters, Sika, who we'll be hearing from in a little bit. And it's called the Koioshouki Song, titled after the moon goddess. Right? So let me go ahead and make sure that this is full screen, if it lets me. Okay, enter full screen. And here we go. I'm going to share my video now. I'm going to share my my screen. Here we go. So this is in Lak Ech singing the Koioshouki Song. Okay. Boom.
Koioshouki, Koioshouki, tú eres mujer, de la luna a tu imagen, tú eres fuerte. Hablamos, damos vida, damos leche y amor. Tu espíritu está conmigo, soy fuerte mujer. So good.
So that's just let's see here. Where are we at? Gosh. Stop sharing. Here we go. Sorry, it's just like all these windows. That's a little short snippet of our Koioshouki Song back in, I believe, 2006, 2007. I have a few other clips I'm going to show you. You can't hear we're not looking at the whole song, but we're just getting little snippets of it. But that song, Koioshouki, was written by our sister, Sika, Cristina, which is Teshley's mom. And maybe we can hear from her next.
I'd actually love to hear Teshley a little bit, because I saw you, you were off screen, off camera, but I saw you going, whoa, because you saw yourself all young. Can you share a little bit? I think you're on mute. Thanks.
Yeah. Wow, looking at all of those videos, it really brings back memories, even from the ones that I wasn't alive for yet. It's nice to see everyone, Felicia and Claudia and Rachel and my mom, starting everything. I don't know. I really enjoyed growing up, going to all of these events and hearing all of the spoken word. And what really made me enjoy it more is that I got to see my idols basically do what they do best, and just continue to inspire other people around me. And I know that a lot of my own friends in the Chicana community know of all of your work and continue to make theirs. And I know that it's inspired by Mujeres de Maiz and how everything started. And yeah, I don't know.
Can you tell us a little bit about your couple of groups that you started?
Oh yeah. So I founded a magazine called Desde Califas, which is an art magazine that highlights Black and Indigenous POC with a relationship to California. And we launched in August, so we're still pretty new. We're gonna be launching releasing our second issue late May. And the theme for that one is gonna be power apparel. So I'm inspired by Mujeres de Maiz and Lak Ech. I'm trying to also do my own works and my own projects with other people and learn how to collaborate and express myself in that way. I'm also a roller skater, and I know Felicia or Nadia, you had mentioned in my bio that I am a co-founder of Chionas on Skates. That's me and my best friend who lives in New York. We're trying to maintain our relationship through roller skating and just moving our bodies and just being connected to each other from afar. Yeah, those are the two main groups that I'm a part of right now. I was also going to school in San Francisco for photography, but because of the pandemic, I had to stop. I don't do well with online learning, so I'm taking a break from school. I'm a production assistant at a studio in Hollywood that does workout videos for a machine called Tonal. I don't know if you've heard of them. Yeah, so I'm through Mujeres de Maiz and Lak Ech, it really sparked me into this whole journey of just performing arts and visual arts. So I went to high school at LA County High School for the Arts. I was an actress there. From there, I joined Las Fotos Project, which is an organization that helps young women of color learn how to channel their energy through photography. From there, I learned that I loved to take photos. So I went to school in San Francisco Art Institute. From there, I came back because of the pandemic. And then since then, I've just been trying to start my own stuff like the Califas. I'm really trying to start my own photo projects. I'm part of another group called Dicey Media Productions, which one of my best friends started. And we're trying to create our own films and media of all sorts. So I've just been trying to find my own journey.
Awesome. I just had to ask, of course, because Ashley is the mom.
Yeah, doing so much. But your mama should, is probably so proud of you, Ashley, because you're doing beautiful work. Thank you for sharing with us.
Yeah.
I wanted to know if we could share Zika's recording and then, or do you want to share?
Yes. So let me get to that. So this is an image of, or this is a video that Cristina Gorosica recorded. It is answering the various questions that we had about kind of her story of Lak Ech and Mujeres de Maiz, about what she does now. So we're gonna go ahead and listen to that. So take a look. And listen to Cristina Gorosica.
Hi, my name is Cristina Gorosica.
Oops. It looks like it might need a little time. Hold on. Might probably have too many things open. A ver, déjame pensar.
I'm a member of Lak Ech, also member of Mujeres de Maiz. I just wanted to take a few minutes to answer a few questions and
Oops. We're having a little technical difficulties. Let me do my best to get this happening.
Hi, my name is Cristina Gorosica. I'm a member of Lak Ech, also a member of Mujeres de Maiz. I just wanted to take a few minutes to answer a few questions and share some information. I want to answer the first question: how would you describe Lak Ech in its earliest years? Its earliest years were everything that was right at the time of my life, Felicia's life, Claudia, Rachel, Marisol, and Liza. It just happened organically, naturally, and we found each other. We came together, we met each other and realized we all shared poems. We all wrote, we all were interested in collaborating together. So to me, it was just something that happened because it had to, and it was needed. So deciding to be part of Lak Ech was something that came, like I said, organically. It wasn't so much of a decision. It was more of the collaboration and open-mindedness that we had worked, gelled, flowed in a beautiful way, where we all were enthralled by each other, by who we were, by what we had to say, by our artistic expression, song, strokes of a paintbrush, movement. You know, we all brought those elements, and we loved what we saw, and we wanted to share it. That's how Lak Ech came to be, is just our desire to share, and to give the voice of a woman, right? A voice that we didn't see around. You know, it was a time of Rage Against the Machine, time of Asan Underground, a time of, you know, all the young men around us that were singing and performing, that were great. You know, we loved them, we supported them, but we also felt we had to elevate ourselves and, you know, be out there, be on the platform, be a part of the cultura that was alive and well at that time in that small community of Regeneracion, of the Zapatista movement. So it all came together because it had to. You know, and I can say that Lak Ech shaped Mujeres de Maiz at kind of organically at the same time that Mujeres de Maiz was born. Lak Ech was literally, we were parallel. Lak Ech began, we started to share out our talents, our inspirations, and many other women wanted to. So wow, what a opportunity that we had and that we still have today. And what role influence has Lak Ech, Mujeres de Maiz had as myself as an artist and in my ways? You know, I am very blessed to have met such wonderful women because I think that they are all a part of my camino, of my way, my spirituality. You know, starting with learning that in college, you know, about the Chicano movement and, you know, how I should have learned this as a younger person. Well, a lot of us, you know, we're there. We all learned either like right before or we knew, but we all really knew who we were, and we're coming to a place of inspiration and a place of elevating ourselves as Chicana women and having our voice and palabra be shared. So I can say that, you know, all of that made me who I am today. You know, I continue to practice danza, now, you know, learning the concha. So it's really taking my path as a danzante conchera to continue to learn, right? My desire to learn the traditions of our ancestors, to, you know, be able to share songs. A lot of the songs that Marisol and myself and Marlene have shared, you know, are out there, are in sweat lodges, are in moon ceremonies, or just anywhere that they need to be sung, and that's what they're for. is to sing, to share, to ground yourself spiritually, for prayer. And, you know, each song has its purpose. So I can say that, you know, those songs shaped our ways, ourselves, our hearts, our minds, our souls. And one of my favorite memories of the time that I've had with Mujeres de Maiz, the time that I've had within Lak Ech, you know, I can't name it. I just remember, you know, our hand drums, our hand drums. That's what I remember, is all of us standing there with our hand drums and drumming in sync. So that is several times that we performed, right? But when I think of in Lak Ech, it's our pose, our presence, our drums in hands, our voices. That is the collective memory that, you know, stays with me, that, you know, when I see pictures or hear of in Lak Ech, I picture the women, all of us, united with the hand drums. So thank you. You know, congratulations to all of us. You know, I know Felicia has elevated us so much. Claudia, your work with documenting our story, I just want to thank you for that. And, you know, continue this beautiful work. Although we're distant, I know that we're always connected. So thank you very much. And also, I hope you hear from my daughter, Dashley, who also has been in and around in Lak Ech, grown up in Lak Ech. So she's also definitely a seed that we can say has blossomed to embrace this way, our song, our dance, our cultura, and more importantly, the palabra of a woman. I hope.
Oops. All right. Hi, everyone.
Hi. Hey, Marlene's in the house. Hey.
Everyone.
Yeah, it's the Mexica New Year today. So yeah, right?
New Year.
Naui Kali. So so glad you were able to join us, Marlene. We just finished hearing from Sika, and we've been sharing a few clips of in Lak Ech, and yeah, so it's a real blessing to be able to come together during these times, you know.
Yes, for sure. Thank you for setting this up for us to be able to gather in this way. You know, I know it's been a challenging time for us not to be able to connect in the ways that we're used to, but I'm so glad that we've figured out other ways to continue to connect and be in each other's presence.
Yeah.
Marlene, I know you just got here and I'm going to have to put you on the spot, but I wanted to know if you could describe a little bit for us the early years of Lak Ech.
Well, I, would love to, except I would have to watch some of the documentary because I actually, aside from Dashley, I'm, I came into Lak Ech about halfway in. And thankfully so, because it really did change my life. But, I hadn't heard of Lak Ech, and I hadn't heard of Mujeres de Maiz because it was something that I still needed in my life. And so the way that I came about to this circle was by way of Marisol, which I think you guys have also shared some of their work. Marisol invited me into the circle, and I started to learn the canciones from the mujeres, and everyone just really welcomed me from the beginning. So for me, that's the early years for me. The early years is going to meeting with the mujeres and sitting around the drum and learning the songs with them, and beyond just the learning of the songs, it just became a way of life. And I know my sister started inviting me to ceremony. Felicia, I know, was someone that was always inviting. And so then it just became a way of life. But definitely in Lak Ech was the way in which I was welcomed into ceremony and into flower and song.
You mentioned a little bit that you were invited, but why did you decide to be part of the actual group?
Well, it's funny. It's not like your typical group or band in this in that kind of way, right? It's more like I was invited to be a part of the singing circle, and then as time went on, I just established these beautiful relationships with these amazing mujeres, all of which are so talented and grounded in ceremonia and in the friendships that were built, that they just kind of enveloped and welcomed me into. So it was not really, I always like to say, I didn't decide to be in Lak Ech. I was asked to join the circle, and I haven't left because it's such a precious space that I hold so close to my heart.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you so much, Marlene. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I wanted to ask the group, and maybe if you can go first, but how do you feel in Lak Ech shaped Mujeres de Maiz?
Well, for me, I think it's the seed, like the kernel, right, of Mujeres de Maiz. So without in Lak Ech, there would be no Mujeres de Maiz, in my opinion, or what I remember. Again, a lot of us remember it a little bit differently. It has been 24 plus years, and we're in our older ages. But yeah, so I see it as that, but again, we always try and remember to think about the people in the 60s and 70s who came before, even in the 80s and 90s, the OSCO members, the Chicana feminist, and also BIPOC, women of color feminist writers before in the 60s and 70s, and then 500 plus years ago. So we definitely do this generational thing. Of course, our tias, our fierce tias and mothers, abuelas, right? And obviously, especially being a very amazing example of that in the flesh right here. So for me, that's kind of the connection.
Yeah. What about you, Claudia? How would you say it shaped Mujeres in Lak Ech shaped Mujeres de Maiz?
I want to kind of in response to what Felicia had mentioned earlier, like that in terms of looking at it, how we happen to be the seed that took root, and the seed that's been planted throughout the centuries, going way back to, like during the classic Mesoamerican era of the Americas, right? When there was this amazing spiritual awakening here in the Americas, people were tapped in. It's kind of like where I feel like as a people, as a human race is finally beginning to look towards evolving into becoming more conscious people. And back in like 800 years before the birth of Christ, that was already happening here. And so seeds are always being planted, and we just happen to be ready. We were in fertile ground. We were in Regeneracion. And there was something about each one of us that was ready to take root, to be able to blossom. And so I feel like in Lak Ech, influenced Mujeres de Maiz in the sense that we valued the voice of a mujer, right? We very much we were inspired by a lot of women of color feminists, I believe. We were inspired by our abuelas. We were inspired by the movimientos from before. We're like the product of generations and generations of hard work that fights for the freedom of our spirit, that fights for, the empowerment of all people, that fights for justice, that fights for equality and freedom. And so we're kind of like, I feel like we were sensitive to that, and that's what we pushed forward. That's what we believed in. And so, you know, Mujeres de Maiz is about female empowerment. It's about uniting women. It's about becoming healthier, whole beings, right? And if women are empowered, then their families and their communities are empowered. So it's about, you know, I think we encouraged that. We founded that. We also, I think, gave voice to, you know, this, to our desire. And our desire was to unite women, was to reconnect with our indigenous identities, with our indigenous knowledges and ancestry. And so, you know, those are some ways I feel like we definitely influenced Mujeres de Maiz as a collective to really value our connection to nature and our connection to our past. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you, Claudia. I wanted to see if Dashley or Marlene wanted to add anything.
I feel, you know, I have been an active member of Lak Ech for about a decade or so, and I've been able to experience seeing Mujeres de Maiz grow every single year, and not just in the efforts, but in also the women that are gathering to come together and organize, as well as all of the amazing artists that come together. I've witnessed it grow, and my main contribution has been through my artistry, in terms of what I contribute here with Lak Ech, but also with my I don't know if you guys remember, I also had a Chicana Teatro troupe called La Ramona, so we were also would participate Mujeres de Maiz in that way, as well as my other group Cuicani. So my main contributions have to Mujeres de Maiz have been through my artistry, but it's just been amazing to see how it's grown throughout the years, and the legacy that it's leaving behind for our younger generations, such as Dashley.
Thank you, Marlene. Dashley, do you want to add anything?
I think they covered everything, but I do feel like in Lak Ech, from what I was taught, in Lak Ech was the seed that grew into this whole basically movement of women of color sharing and expressing, and it's continuing to grow. And although I personally am not super active with Mujeres de Maiz at the moment, it's still growing through me, like everyone said. I'm a product of that, and I'm carrying that and those teachings and those experiences with me into my own work.
Thank you so much, Dashley. I wonder if it's okay to share another clip, Claudia, of a short clip of Lak Ech.
Yep. Let me wake up my drive. I'm gonna get it ready. So see.
Sorry, you're muted again.
I'm always muted. We also have a few more of Marisol, so in case.
Oh yeah. Yeah, maybe while you're setting up, Claudia, can we hear Marisol?
Sure.
All right, here we go. So this is Marisol Torres sharing a little bit about her involvement. Let's see. Her involvement within Mujeres de Maiz, and specifically some of the connections to why did she join. So she was also similar to our compañera Marlene, a part of a teatro group and of other teatro groups, various, Las Ramonas, as well as a group Chusma. So actually it is, oh, there it is. I was like, it's thinking about it. Okay, here we go. Technology.
I guess the next question is, why did I decide to be part of Lak Ech? Well, I don't think I decided to be part of Lak Ech. I'm just joking. Well, I say that because when we first got together, we didn't think it would be a group that would last beyond our first performance. We wanted to collaborate as women and present something together on International Women's Day. And so, you know, the decision was kind of made for us when people started asking for us to perform beyond that date, asking us to perform at different venues. But I would say, if I'm thinking about it, why I decided to continue with the group and be part of something like this is because although I was performing at the time with a group called Choose Mob, we were performing theater and comedy and political satire. This space that Lak Ech provided for me was so healing in a different way. It allowed me to share another part of me that I had hid for quite some time. You know, I didn't think that people wanted to, would be interested in hearing this other part of me, which was not always a clown or performing, you know, straight political satire. And so it allowed me to explore with other women our spirituality, our healing, our past experiences that were very unique to the experience of being a Chicana, of being first generation born in the United States, as far as my family is concerned. I think almost all of us, we related to each other in that way. And so just felt that it was important to share that space and you know, bring that part of my experience to the stage along with these other women. And so that's part of the reason why I decided to join Lak Ech in the beginning, just to hear women's voices together on the stage together, not bringing each other down, not competing, was something I felt was so important, and an experience that I hadn't had before, working within Lak Ech and then eventually with Mujeres de Maiz. So I think that's one of the reasons, and I'll let the other women share their reasons.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So on that note, I'm going to share a song. It's called "Woman Nation" from a performance at the Mariachi Plaza in Boyle Heights in 2010. And here we go. Let me get that ready. It's pretty much there. Okay. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. And this is Lak Ech 2010. So this is, you know, I have this whole compilation of different shows going on, and so you got to see little clips of that. But yeah, so that was in 2010, and we were playing at the Mariachi Plaza in Boyle Heights. And we were singing the Woman Nation song. That, the Woman Nation. And I think that's one of the influences for Mujeres de Maiz, is kind of like, what does the Woman Nation think and feel and say and do and create and sing about and perform about and all of that. So another lovely song that, that Lak Ech has gifted me. I love singing with Lak Ech. I don't think I have an amazing voice or anything like that, like some of these other compañeras, but I love, to be able to sing with them and to feel that little piece of magic with the drums. And yeah.
Thank you for sharing, Claudia, and beautiful video. Yeah, every time I hear Lak Ech perform, it's just so powerful. I just feel it in my heart, and that heartbeat with a drum is just so beautiful. So thank you so much for sharing. I want to move on and ask another question to the group, and maybe I can start with Teshley right now. So what role or influence has Lak Ech and Mujeres de Maiz had on you as a mujer, an artist, and in your camino?
Well, it definitely opened up a lot of possibilities for me. Mujeres de Maiz and Lak Ech made art as a life, as a career, a reality for me. It made it a possibility. I know that a lot of parents are like, don't do art as your career, have a backup plan. And even my mom was like that, but sorry, Mom, you kind of made me this way with all your art that you were putting out there in the world. This is why I wanted to become a photographer. This is why I wanted to become just a creative and leave my impact on the world. And it also opened up connecting art with ceremony and with medicine and with spiritual healing. So a lot of my art that I do, well, not a lot of it, but a good amount of my art is also my way of expressing and my way of releasing a lot of, frustration or whatever it is that I'm dealing with. And I think that Lak Ech showed me that that was possible, because I do remember sitting in some of the groups in some of our rehearsals, and when one of the women would bring a new song, they would tell everybody the story behind it, and they would, share what it meant and how it came to them. And I always thought that that was so beautiful. And those moments of sharing how these songs and these spoken word came to be always stuck with me and always made me want to do the same thing. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing, Teshley. That's beautiful. Marlene, I wanted to ask you the same question. So what role or influence has Lak Ech and Mujeres de Maiz had on you as a mujer, as an artist, and in your camino?
Well, I would love to answer that question. But first, I just want to say, give a shout out to Teshley. Did you guys see her in that video? She was just a
I know, I saw it. Well, I don't remember that day. I'm sorry.
I got it.
Ashley, like she has mentioned and Sika has mentioned, and her godmother Faye, of course, has been around since the womb, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, Ashley. She's been around since the womb. I have been fortunate enough to be a part of seeing Ashley grow up into this amazing young woman, and it's just so great. Just sitting here listening to you talk and the ways that you have personally been impacted and how it's influenced your life, and it just really brings a lot of joy to my heart to see that and to hear how you are carrying that with you. So I just wanted to say that I see you and that I appreciate you, and I'm so glad that you are here and a living testament to your family and to this beautiful flower and song and ceremony and road that you walk on, that we walk on. So I just wanted to mention that because I think it's so important.
Now you're gonna make us all Chiona skates. She has to do Chiona skates, and I'm gonna have to be jumped in, even though I don't know. All right. No.
So yeah, so thank you, Teshley, for showing up and for sharing sharing of yourself with us in that way. So important.
Thank all of you for leading me. And I always, people say that it takes a community to help someone grow. Well, you guys are my community. You women are my community, and you've helped me grow, and you've helped me become the person that I am today. And I'm continuing to grow, and I'm carrying all the teachings and all the experiences that you have all made with me and for me. And thank you.
Yeah.
And so, we love everybody, and we're missing the other girls that are only on video.
Yeah. But I would also want to say, like, this is such a testament of just like the work that Mujeres de Maiz has done. This is an intergenerational exchange. I know, talking to folks, you talk to your elders, your tias, your maestras for guidance, but you also see kind of this future generation happening with Teshley and other young women, who are seeing Mujeres de Maiz, have grown up with Mujeres de Maiz, and como dijo Teshley, can dream about being artists, can dream about, living this beautiful life in ceremony también, so thank you también for this important work,
Yeah, and then just going back to the question in terms of like what it's done for me it's just exactly what we're talking about. At the time that Lak Ech found me, I was at a crossroads in my life, but I was very much looking and searching for my community, for my people, for my cultura. Like I was actively knowing that I needed that, and in my own way at the time I was praying on that, and it was around that time that Lak Ech found me and took me in, and it really did change the course of my life in very profound ways. Of course, through my artistry, through the cantos, and getting closer to ceremony, I found a piece of myself that I was searching for, and so I felt very much at home. I felt like I had found a piece of myself had come back to me, and so that had a profound impact on me. In a spiritual way, and then of course in terms of my artistry, just being around all these amazing mujeres, artistas, anything from visual artists to poets to danzantes, teatristas, you name it. It's so inspiring, and not just the fact that their artistry is amazing, but the way in which that is offered, that their offerings that are being offered to the community, and so being a part of that is feeling a part of a community, which was something that I was missing. And so finding Lak Ech and Mujeres de Maiz has really been like a coming home. And I know that they hold me as I hold them.
Thank you, Marlene. Claudia, I want to ask you the same question. What role or influence has Lak Ech and Mujeres de Maiz have on you as a mujer, as an artist, and in your camino?
Well, I would have to say I agree with a lot what the other sisters have said. For me, having a community that I can bring all my different parts of myself to and be supported. I felt like for me, Mujeres de Maiz has been it's been 24 years. It's been 24 years. And I often had to ask myself, why am I still doing this? What is it about this that I cannot let go of? And it's that, I think what it is that that powerful energy that that gives life, that it has given me, you know? So people call it inspiration. People call it sisterhood, community. But for me, it's, I have to say, it's that feminine energy that goes beyond the physical body. It's that that energy of the earth being manifested through the resistance, the dreams, the desires, the images, the arte that the space Mujeres de Maiz provides, like creating that space for that to exist and be alive there, is very, I feel like is very powerful, and it's inspiring and it's life-giving. And for me, that's, I feel for me like that's what it's giving me. It's giving me hope. It's giving me inspiration in moments when, you know, it's difficult to have that, you know. And so for me, it's like, you know, being told you can do it, and you could do it how you want to do it, and go for it, and I'm here for you, and I'm not going to let you fall, even though things could get difficult, right? So, you know, it's a mirror. It's a powerful obsidian mirror that you know, reflects back to me the beauty that I have, and also everything that you know, that I can potentially do, or that I can attempt to do. So for me, it's given me inspiration. It's giving me a space to practice my art, and it's giving me, it has given me work. You know, I've been able to collect, you know, close to 24 years of footage documenting this collective, and all, without, you know, when I started to do this, I was like, I never even thought I would ever be doing a documentary. You know, I wanted to do short narrative films, and, you know, and now, you know, I am being blessed with helping to manifest the story of Mujeres de Maiz. You know, I'm the vehicle to make that happen. And so that's what it's given me, you know, and for, you know, so it's a little bit of that.
Thank you, Claudia. That's so beautiful. Can we hear from Marisol and what she has to say about this question?
Sure. I am not Marisol, but I am the I am the DJ VJ who will now share a little bit of Marisol's information. And I hear we have a special guest kind of linking in after. And so just one moment, please.
Thank you.
Thank you for, you can share a little bit, whatever, if you like, while I do this.
Okay. Cool. How do I feel that Lak Ech helped shape Mujeres de Maiz? Well, I mean, Lak Ech was that first circle that came together, and, you know, as I mentioned before, it's just surprising the effect that having a circle of women had on me, and then seeing and sharing that effect that it was having on people from the community, and seeing the need to even grow that even further. And so that collaborative spirit of Lak Ech in those first performances, that first night that we got together in the little that small room at the PRC, in the radio station, where we were sharing and literally opening up our journals in front of each other, extended into the spirit of what became Mujeres de Maiz. We wanted to grow that, to expand that, to have help other women and people have that experience of, and in all genres, not just through poetry and performance art, as how we began, but through other venues such as film, music, and visual arts, and the zine, and everything that Mujeres de Maiz eventually encompassed. And so I think that's how that collaborative spirit and that also that spirit of wanting to amplify our voices and help bring amplify other women's voices of anyone who came into contact with the circle. I think that's how Lak Ech, that spirit of Lak Ech inspired and impacted Mujeres de Maiz.
Thank you for this. So we have someone joining us live now. So Sika, do you want to say hi? Is she?
Hi.
Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you for having us. Thank you. I just want to chime in. I mean, I think you guys already shared my part. So just, you know, I didn't give props to the true maestras, which are, you know, reading Bridge Behind My Back, Ansaldúa, Moraga, Castillo, Cisneros. Their palabras, their voices is what, you know, took me, and I'm sure a lot of us, we know, like they are, you know, gigantes. They are the ones that were there, like before me, right? Or before a lot of us. So I just want to say that I want to honor their written words, their spoken words, because it's their literature that allowed me to then write. I said, oh, there's other women of color, you know, and that's what sparked it. So I'm not sure what you shared of what I said, but I realized, you know, I have to give credit to those beautiful, powerful women.
Thank you so much. Yes, and we loved your what you shared with us. But thank you for that added. Yeah, I think, como dijimos antes, that intergenerational conversation, even with your daughter Teshley, you know, we're constantly in kind of this long, you know, we're, you know, in this long lineage, this long, you know, conversations with our maestras and also younger generations. So thank you for making those connections today. Yeah. I also want to, you know, ask that question for you, Faye. As you know, what role or influence has Lak Ech or Mujeres de Maiz had on you as a mujer, as an artist, and in your camino? I know this is a big question.
I would say it's just maybe that mi camino, it's my spirit, my art, it's my family, my friends, my sisterhood, it's my life.
Drops mic. Okay, thank you, Faye. And you know, to close, I want you all to either share any memorable performance or artwork that you have exhibited in the live art shows, or you know, or performance in the live art show, or anything else you want to share to close with us today. I don't know who wants to start. I don't want to keep putting people on the spot. So if you want to self-appoint yourself to start. Yeah, anything that you
also have Marisol 1 or 2 videos. It's like the influence. And
oh yeah. Okay, thanks. Yeah, and maybe we can play those while we reflect, maybe a little bit on this last question.
About this, while people reflect on this, I have one last little tiny clip.
Okay.
And this is, you know, this is Lak Ech opening up the 2010 live art show. We've opened up some of the shows, and in this show we opened up honoring the directions. So this is a clip of that. It's from 2010, and the live art show was called 13 Baktun, Return of the Wisdom of the Elders. So if it's okay, I'll show that, and that'll be my little contribution to a closing of, let me see, my drive is waking up. So here we go. Okay. Let me share my screen. It's awake. Here we go. Okay, looks like I'm sharing now. Let me go to review. Interface group. Okay. So little tiny clips there as we honor the giving thanks for the 4 directions, all the directions actually. So yeah, I mean, I'm just feeling, you know, and you know what's pretty awesome that I love about that little clip, I'm just going to say this, is that I think I'm really proud that through this honoring of the directions and the, you know, the cantos, the drums, that people who were there to watch the show were welcomed. They welcomed honoring and beginning this event in that way. So as we turned in each direction, everybody else turned too. That's pretty cool. You know, it's kind of like a ritual. And so that's beautiful to me. It gives me happiness.
Pretty much every event, I think, from the 1997 has done something similar or connected. We've had people like our maestras of Las Maestras Sanar, Sri Moraga and Celia Herrera Rodriguez open up the 4 rounds of our event like that at one of the Mujeres de Maiz. Linda Vallejo was sharing right now, one of our maestras. And even back in the day in like 1998, we had like Xochimilco Portillo and Irma Cuicui and others like sharing in that way, Reina Cervantes. And so it's always been kind of like what you've shared a little bit, Sika, not only from the like maestras that from we knew in books, but then others that we knew through danza and ceremonies and circles and intergeneration.
Anything you'd like to share, Sika, regarding just a close? Anything else you'd like to share with us, or anything memorable that came to you?
I'm blown away of how beautiful that sounded. And you know, sometimes I forget our songs, not forget internally, but to hear it and see it, that documentation that, you know, Claudia has always been so on point of documenting everything. Wow, like that's pretty nice. That feels good. And I've never seen the crowd like that, you know, so that was really special to see how everyone honored with us, because it's not really a performance, it's a ceremony, you know. Everyone can interpret it in that way, but when we're singing those songs, it's not a show, it's the real thing. And I think, wow, that's pretty cool to see that was emulated. So I'm just honored to have seen that. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Anyone want to share?
Yeah, one thing that I'm remembering that has always stuck with me is when I'm going to different ceremonies where I don't really know anyone there, I'll hear in Lak Ech songs sung, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, wow, it's reached this far, it's reached this many people. I don't even know who these people are, and they're singing these songs that I grew up hearing and that have so much meaning in my life. I wonder what it means to them. So I think that is something that has always stuck with me and that I'll always remember and always be proud of. And in Lak Ech and Mujeres de Maiz has had such an impact on me that I've got it tatted on my arm. Actually, can you see? I got the Mujeres de Maiz.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I got that in honor of my mom and everybody that helped make me.
So beautiful. I know, I'm like, yeah.
I love you, Dashley. So happy you've been on this camino with us, you know, little sister. My little sister, and you also feel like a daughter, even though I didn't give birth to you, but it's been there for you.
So I just want to give you all an opportunity to, to share anything else, or if not, Marlene, would you close us off with this song?
Yeah, I would be honored to. I just wanted to offer up this song. This particular song, I've been carrying it with me for a while, and I sing it often, and I sing it in times of celebration, and I sing it when I feel scared, and I sing it when I'm sending prayer to people. And it's a song that our sister Cristina Gorosica wrote, and it's called Love Song. And I tonight especially just want to dedicate it to all the mujeres in Lak Ech, those who are with us in this live stream moment right now, and those who sent videos, and then also mujeres that you got to see through Claudia's documentary, which include Rachel and Liza. So I want to honor them as well, and know that that we hold this circle. We as sisters hold this circle. We as Lak Ech, we hold this circle. Whether we are able to be in the same space or not, the circle is still intact, and I hold that very precious to my heart and to my life. And so I want to dedicate that song to all mujeres of Lak Ech, as well as to all the sisters that are out there watching this evening on this Mexica New Year. And in case you're wondering, the reason I'm singing this solo is just because we have not figured out yet the technology to be able to have us all sing together. But I hope that someday soon we will have access to that and we can sing again, or be in person. How about that? Oh.
Yes. Woo. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marlene. That was beautiful. So I just want to, close off the night, this beautiful conversation, this beautiful night with you all. But I want to just, give you the opportunity, Claudia, to share a little bit about the documentary and like your vision, and just one last call to get folks to donate tonight. Is that's okay with you?
Sure. I'll keep it a little short as best as I can. Just want to just say that, the story of Mujeres de Maiz is one that I feel really needs to be told, especially during this time, these transformational times, as, as an inspiration for a new dawn that is arising, and I feel that the women nation, can help humanity to become more in balance, right? Can help the healing of the world, of the planet, of our madrecita Tonantzin, Coatlique, Chicomecoa, and so it's a story that's not only about us, but it's a story about the larger us through the lens of these little, this small collective of a diversity of voices. And so, we ask, we're offering these ofrendas to everybody here, and ask that if it's within your means to support the vision, to support this dream, this vision that has been in the making for many years. And so whatever it is you can share is welcomed. And if providing money is not the thing for you right now, please spread the word. Share it with your contacts, with the people that can make this a reality. And we cannot do this alone. And so we are asking for your support in every way that you can, whether it's nothing is too little or too big, so we accept it all. And we ask you that at the very minimum, please spread the word of this missing chapter of LA history, the Mujeres de Maiz story, indigenous resilience, desire, right? Resistance, and, space. So thank you so much for being here, and for listening to our stories. And I want to thank my hermanas here from Lak Ech, those that are here and those that are not here with us, and our special facilitator, Nadia Zepeda, for taking the time to do this with us tonight. So thank you, everybody. We are honored, and we offer these palabras to you and to the world. Kamati. Buenas noches.
Well, with that, we close. Thank you all. Have a good night, and thank you for joining us. And please join us for all our other programming. Check out mujeresdemaiz.com, and also click on our GoFundMe. And I encourage you to share, like, and repost our stuff. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a good night.
Good night.
Bye. Thank you. Blessings. Feliz Año Nuevo, Mexica 9 Tal.